Excuse me. So content. We'll come on a little bit more into sort of how the various different pages break down, but good ways of getting content onto your site that isn't specifically product descriptions are things like category page copy. So you'll group your products into categories, and there'll be something on that page that describes the category the customer's currently looking at. We'll see later that that's actually probably one of the most important pages for new customers. If you have a lot to say around your products that isn't necessarily sales copy, so a product description or its list of features or what it's made out of, then a great place to put those is a blog. You can sort of talk more around your brand and why you chose the products, how you choose the products, and it's a great place to put lots of content that doesn't necessarily fall directly into how would I sell this product to the customer. And content pages, so just pages on your site about what you do, about how you do, about the reason that you've chosen the products you do, how you go about selecting them from suppliers. Another good idea is to make sure that those content pages, category descriptions and blog posts have links to other pages on your website. So if a customer happens to be reading an article about why you buy your particular products and where you shop from, where you get them from, then link them to those products or link them to a category with those products in it. Chances are you might be able to motivate them to buy. Social media is becoming increasingly important, albeit it's quite difficult to measure its direct impact on the performance of an e-commerce website. So allowing your customers to share your products or your pages to their social network. So if they like a particular product, they can send that out to Facebook. Lots more people would do that than grabbing a link to that page, emailing it to their friends. They just pop it on their Facebook page and then all their friends can see it. Twitter, again, sort of, depending on your type of customer, is also an important mechanism by which people share information they find useful online. Another way is distributing your content to something like YouTube. We had one client who shot all their products just with a camera in their office, and they made a YouTube video showing how every single one of their products was used. YouTube didn't charge them any fees. It took someone a little bit of time to go through and film all those things, but that's content that customers will be finding. So they'll be on YouTube, they won't be searching for products at all, but they'll find your brand. It's good exposure, it's links back to the site, and it's a useful tool. If you have products that do require a particular way of using them, then instructional videos are a great way of convincing a customer that they're not going to be caught short when they buy that product. They'll know how to use it. And obviously, since the presentation was first created, there's now been the rise of Pinterest, which is, if you have a particularly visual product, a nice way of people sort of sharing that to their friends is to sort of pin it to their boards. But all those things are very easy to integrate into your website. All those social networks give you little snippets that you or your website developer can put onto the page that makes it very easy for people to share it out. So how to measure SEO, as I said, it's one of the things that hopefully any platform that you build a website on will be reasonably well engineered for. It's often the biggest share of traffic to a website because it's people looking for your products rather than you specifically. This is specifically how to measure it in Google Analytics, but it is a good metric to check, to sort of track over time. So as you sort of refine your product copy, product descriptions and product names, you can track sort of how this goes. But I think by the time you get around to sort of having a look at SEO and sort of trying to maintain it, then this may have fallen from memory. So I'll sort of skip over this. So these are a couple of slides illustrating that one client we had who sell, this is a particular client, Christopher Ward, who sell watches. They spent an awful lot of time and money with an SEO agency, making sure that they were on the first page of Google for watches. But because they spent so much money, even the orders they got from that ended up being a negative ROI. So it cost them more money to get on the first page of Google than they actually got in additional sales from being on that first page of Google. So it is possible to spend a bit too much time on SEO, but it's important to measure how much time you're putting in or cost you're putting in with an agency versus what you're getting back from it. And offline marketing. Excuse me. So traditional marketing, if you look at sort of e-commerce, so things like PR. Get your brand name out to wherever it can be. If they've got online resources, then by all means, get them to put a link back to your site on. It's great for inbound links. It'll get people to the site. And catalog marketing. We have quite a lot of our customers who sort of were traditional catalogue marketers and then have looked at e-commerce with rose-tinted glasses with that, brilliant, we don't need to do a catalogue anymore. But the ones who've maintained that catalogue, it does fantastically well for them. They send out a catalogue, there's a massive spike in orders, there's a massive spike in sort of conversions on the website, because you're sending it out to people who've requested a catalogue. They want to know about your brand, they've shopped from you in the past. You're sending them a whole bunch of new products, why wouldn't they be interested? So if you can do that, there are relatively cost-effective ways of doing small catalogues. They don't have to be a full printed glossy catalogue. They can be sort of little inserts and flyers that you send out more regularly. But it gets people back to the website and it refreshes their sort of memory of you as a business. So this will be something, so this is sort of an interesting slide for once you start looking into the numbers of where people are coming into an e-commerce website. So everyone here will spend a lot of time placing huge importance on what the homepage of their website looks like. People regard it as the sort of storefront, it's the shop window, it requires the most time and thought and effort. What this slide shows, and again this is sort of aggregated across our customers, is that only about 40% of the people who come to your website for the very first time will come to the homepage. Because your website will have been indexed by Google and they will be looking for products that you sell rather than you specifically, they'll come into a category page or a landing page, a category page or a product page, my apologies. So whatever brand messaging you have put on your homepage, it's important to have that represented across the other pages as well. So generally in the template of the site, the header, the footer, restate those sort of core benefits of your business, your delivery proposition, why your products are better than all your competitors. Because chances are, not everyone is going to see them if you put them on the homepage. And if those are the compelling part of why those customers should buy from you, they need to be in as many places as possible. It's also sort of interesting to note the bounce rate. So bouncing is people who come in, look at one page and then go away without sort of going on anywhere else. And it's a good metric to track just in case you're putting something on those pages that people don't like. It's also a good way of tracking whether your pay-per-click campaign, so your sort of paid advertising, is directing people to the right place. If lots of people are bouncing, then it's either the wrong keywords or it's the wrong page they're being directed to. And again, you can use that to make sure that the money you're spending on advertising is going into the right places rather than being wasted. So, engaging customers. Customers respond very well to things like a new sale, latest category. We're sort of creatures of habit, we're also social creatures. So if I'm being told that these are the newest things, the latest things, or that these are on sale, I will go there, I will have a look, get them in the main navigation, change them as often as you can really, just to keep customers interested. Chances are if you have repeat customers, that's what they'll come back to, because they will be familiar with your product range, they'll want to look at the new things, the latest things. Promotions on the website. It's a sort of difficult subject for some retailers, depending on what the margins are, but it's a great way of getting customers to come back. You know, there's whole websites out there that do voucher code aggregation. Now, provided your voucher doesn't end up losing you money and there's one of those sort of negative ROI things, then it can be a great way of getting completely new customers. If you're giving them something off, they're more motivated, let them share that with their friends, let them share the offer on their social network sites, and you know, you'll sort of generate traffic from it. Content, make it interesting, put as much of it online as you can. I doubt even all of our customers have put everything on their websites that they possibly could to explain about their business. One very important thing is photography. The internet is not a senseless medium, that's the wrong word, but you can't touch the products. So you have to allow people to judge the quality of them by the photography. A little bit of it comes from the description, but the photography is the important thing. If you can get nice, big, high-quality photography, then you're going to convince your customers why they want to buy that product. They're not going to be scared that it's not going to be right for them. Make your landing pages, so the category and the product pages, as engaging as you can to make sure that the customers who do land there for the first time get a good idea about the business. And the final point is navigation. So very few of the people in the room, I would imagine, are going to have a handful of products. You're probably going to have hundreds, maybe thousands if you get down into all the options. So you're going to need to break those down so that customers who are coming to the website can find the products they're looking for. They might always not know exactly what they're looking for, so you can have multiple paths of navigation by product type, by who it's for, by colour. And you can do that in most common e-commerce platforms. You can sort of split them up. allow them to filter their products. So again, it's a feature of Magento, it's a feature of I think most e-commerce platforms. You can allow them to sort of say, right, well, I've gone into this particular category, I only want to look at products up to £50, and give them the option to sort of filter your products in a way that makes sense to them rather than makes sense to you. One of the challenges of navigation is putting yourself in the mind of the customer. A lot of websites, when we take them on, and to a certain extent even afterwards, split their products up in terms of how they're arranged in the warehouse, because that's how they think of their products. They can't sort of get out of that, we organise them in this way, that's the same way that all of our customers will think about them. Do some research about what how your competitors categorise products, how people are searching for them on the internet, and that will probably allow your customers to find your products quicker. The quicker you can get them to do that, the more likely they are to buy, is the hope. Photography doesn't have to be particularly expensive. You know, SLR cameras have come a long way in terms of the quality of the photography. So I think sort of £1,000 and someone's time to photograph the product will buy you sort of one of the light boxes where you can shoot all your products in sort of really good light, get a really good camera, and you can do that for all your photographs, and that will help sell them online. A couple of examples. So this is sort of what I was talking about, allowing customers to navigate in different ways. So this is Christopher Ward, which is one of our sites, and the little screenshot down in the bottom right is John Lewis, which I'm sure many more of you will be familiar with. John Lewis have got a staggeringly huge product range online. So they have to find some way of getting customers from whatever page they land on to all the other pages that they can. So they do that through multi-layered navigation, and it allows you to very quickly go from hundreds of thousands of SKUs down to a much more manageable number. And that's not difficult to do, it's just about thinking of different ways of categorising your products. So I said category pages, as we saw on the earlier graph, are a particularly important page. It can be somewhere between 25 and 50% if you look at the sort of range across our customers of all entrances to the site. So that's the first page they see. They're not seeing the home page or anything else, it's the category page. It can be 40 to 50% of all page views on the website. So make that page, make it work, make it easy for people to use, make it engaging. Category pages sort of fulfill three roles. So they can be landing pages. They're also routing pages, so to get customers from where they landed on the site through to products, through to the detail, through to what you want them to see. And also, with the right sort of platform, they can be conversion pages. So rather than having to force a customer to go all the way to the product page to add it to their basket, you can allow them to add it on the category page. Has the effect of shortening that customer journey, giving them more chance to get through to the end of the checkout process and to convert the order. It's a couple of examples of things you can do with category pages. So this is Cancer Research UK, one of our clients. So they've included in the category description here links through. So they've got a lot of categories down the left-hand side. That might be quite a lot, it might be too many to read for customers. So what they've done is they've broken out and highlighted 4 of their top categories, the ones they know that 80–90% of their customers are looking for on this page. Give them easy links to those subcategories, something that's visually engaging, that isn't just a list of menu options. And you know, it works, it helps reinforce the customer getting to the products that they want quickly. RSPB, oddly another charity customer of ours, but they use highlighting over the product images to differentiate one product from another. So customer lands on a category page, they're looking at t-shirts, there might be 200 t-shirts in a category. How do you allow the customer to select one from another? And using the little sort of icons over the product images to highlight the features, whether it's on sale, whether it's new, particular features of it can be useful in, again, getting them to make a decision on this page. Product pages, so this is when you're actually sort of getting down to an individual product. This is your chance to sell the real detailed benefits of it, to talk about how it's made, why the customer would use it, how they would use it. And it's, you know, again, the main sort of key one is photography. People are visual, they like images of products, and it allows them to see the quality and how it's made and things like that. Copy, again, will help with things like SEO, but it's the way, you know, if you were sat in a room with someone and you were trying to sell them your best-selling product, how would you describe it? You know, make it interesting, make it engaging. Don't make it sort of a boring list of it is made of this, this and this. By all means include that further down the page, but get something engaging and exciting on the page for the customer.